art. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank
Good
you.
to be here.
Hi.
So we wanted to do something that looked at the kind of murk of that. There seemed to be that implication that people were, but also how we fake news running somewhere else. Yeah, and it sort of relates to that whole breakdown of credibility. The kind of a few other political offices and exploring the underbelly of reality to get at these issues.
This is a project that
fact and fiction
Liz
collide.
actually has been, I first heard about, we first started
We've
probably
already
about
been talking
6 or
about
7 years ago, this idea. And if you think about Southern California, there's a lot that's more real.
And grand scale it is.
And that's where this show really starts to take
Which is
shape.
very interesting. But flat board, truth and lies in art go way back.
Yeah, but I think what's interesting now is that to expose this factor in our society that actually is complicit with truthiness itself. And, I think art had become very much about art, became really relevant again. This interest in artifice to speak the truth in the body. Yeah.
Absolutely.
The phantom truck head on. It is the elephant in the room. I mean, that's a good way to put it, being maybe the kind of ground zero of
Tell us about that piece.
that was inspired, if that's the right word, by, so it's sort of this deception exposed by the real to-scale refabrication of something that kind of the shadow reality that impacted and had a huge real impact on probably never existed.
And when you walk in the room, it you don't see it at first.
Right.
You sense it.
Fabricate.
You really sense
a
it. And as
fabrication.
your eyes adjust, this phantom becomes real.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like a lot of us already knew that
What about you?
Well, I recently seeing him talking about that moment and the regret that he felt about that his role.
Having been set up.
Yeah.
And I looked at his body language.
And then there's this truthiness parafiction element has allowed us all to manipulate reality very easily, manipulate reality. They're taking it on, are really like public intellectuals. This, adopting another persona or another fake identity to speak the truth. Deceptions were layered on deceptions.
Something else.
Yeah. The setup for it is to be very straightforward and then putting in the murky reality that we all deal with. I mean, our realities are messy. The reality is just completely a mess.
Our realities, which is that our own realities being very much trapped in ourselves and how much we have to create a reality to even get through every day.
From the get-go.
Yeah.
And I think it's really great to pull someone into that. He ends up getting his deal with his girlfriend and breakups and other girlfriends along the way, and it just becomes about that.
Right.
Sorry. And then slowly subvert or put in my own agenda a breakup, like with a girlfriend.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's incredible.
We're talking.
Well, talk about trompe-l'oeil. In my experience of our audience already, many people miss it. A shadow of the window mullions, trees that might be across the street, that really is a rupture from not only the surface and the shape, but none of it is real or possible. It's probable if you're not really paying attention.
Assume a lot of things, even if we're self-questioning kind of people.
Well, what would happen if there was something wrong with gravity right at that spot? And the other one greets you even before you walk in, and that is a major architectural intervention entrance portal, and that he has created this intervention that very bright kind of color that really signals the entrance portal and when people walk in. And what would happen if the walls started to try to pull away? And
Yeah, I mean, and it's something that younger people may well be more attuned to. He's a bit of an alchemist, so we're barred from being on the doomed ship. So they're quite exotic. You know how beat up they are, but all of us, there's always going to be new technology that tricks and deceives, and so it's an understanding the difference between what's real and what isn't.
adding to the disorienting nature and a view into the space. So you will see as you enter the space, not only frames your entrance into the space, but your view into several other...
He takes all these materials that embody this object, and he also gave it a title, which is the good luck, ironic luck of broken male hand bones.
It reminds me of, look at how people are playing with your mind, and this is the age that we live in.
And this is why I would say that there's pigment, rust, and there's pieces of an LP record but which started out as very straightforward factual pieces. So do you know what I mean? So he's like a poet of the real to me.
And like the veil of this or that saint.
Yeah, I mean, there is the reality of the Coney Island Amateur Psychoanalytic Group, the comic books that they, worked on, and the wax museum that was found upstairs. It isn't really that thing, but it embodies our memories, our beliefs, on top of a kind of freak show, whole complex ideas and feelings and moments in history.
Which has in it some things that are true and some things that are not true.
Yes, this was a project that represents a collaboration of so many things in your life differently, right? And so that really made us think about the place we are and looking at the buildings around us, and there's so much that is more real about this place we live. Half of them are real, and the other half are more real. And
so more real means not real.
Not so real. Not so real.
Brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Anything else that
yes, more real can mean not real, but it really can mean more real, because what do we mean by real? And well, who's to say that's not more real? When you enter that world, maybe you create an identity that actually is more true to your own personal reality. So I really also want, but of course we do.
a lot of people are in, namely the kind of cliche, you make your own reality.
Is that big here? It seems real, and then it seems even more real when the cameras back away, and there are all those different sides of ourselves. I mean, I'm playing myself, but I was more real.
Yeah, definitely.
Take on another reality.
Right. And puts it in a dark room. More very interesting. Well, thank you all so much for being with us, ladies and gentlemen.